Hi, everybody. It's time again for the Mikey and Al Between the Lines podcast. I'm Mikey.
And I'm Al. How was the Teutel family growing up? I mean, you had two brothers, you had a sister. Was it a lot of, ins and outs, turmoil, kind of conflict?
Yeah, we
everybody
all
get along.
Well, as far as like fucking up, I guess as a kid fucking up, I fucked up my dad's car one time. He had a Sentra,
right?
That he was changing the plates on, right? And he told me I could use the car, but there were no plates on it. I had to go like 4 miles to where I was working pumping gas.
Uh-huh.
And we were supposed to have a snowstorm that night, so he said, just take it there and come back.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I took it and I picked up two friends that were like 10 miles out of the way.
Yeah.
And I brought them into work with me because my boss was going in the evening, so we could just go in there and we could smoke cigarettes and drink.
Right.
And just hang out,
Yeah.
you know. At the end of the evening, I left my glasses in the shop, and it started to snow. And my friends and I thought it would be a good idea to go over to the school and do donuts in the parking lot in the snow. So it went well, and we were just spinning around doing donuts. And then on the way out, because I didn't have my glasses, I hit the light post in the school.
Oh,
Yeah, it blasted. It came down. The airbag came out, and we were kind of stuck there for a little bit. My friends helped me hoist the light pole off the front of the car.
Was it the only light pole in the parking lot that you had? Or, I mean,
it was
because
the last
usually
light
the parking
pole.
lot, it gives you a little, you got a little leeway there. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I could blame not having glasses and whatnot, but it's just absolute stupidity.
Right.
You know? And I hit the very last light pole you could hit on the way out. So I think I assumed like the turn was closer or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Then I drove down the road another quarter mile and I got pulled over by a cop. But the cop never knew that I just hit that light pole down the road. He asked me, what'd you hit? I said I hit a guardrail the other day, and the airbag was spilled out and everything,
Right.
And he let me off with a bunch of warnings tickets. And then I kind of putted along, brought my friends home, came home, and the next day my dad woke up and just hit the ceiling.
I can imagine.
And I never turned on the tears, little girls will say they turn on the tears when dad starts yelling.
So what was that?
I started like weeping in the kitchen.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And he was bulging, man. His eyes were bulging and shit. He was fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I have
I'll get over that shit.
I've backed into both of my parents' cars early in the morning, leaving.
You did?
Yep.
At the same morning?
Different mornings, different months, different years.
Really?
Backed into both of my parents' cars, backing out of the driveway.
You just put it in reverse.
Just put it in
full
reverse
gas.
and hit it.
Jeez.
The first time I was like, what the hell just happened? The second time I was like, shit, I did it again.
Have you ever broken any of their shit through, being a rebel? Like
My
pure
closet door,
negligence?
my closet door fell off because I got angry at Club Penguin when I was like 8 or 7.
Oh.
Club Penguin?
Yeah, which is what we were playing at the time. It's this online thing with penguins. Not anymore. They closed down. They shut down. Now it's a fake
was
one.
like that would be a cool name for literally for a disco or some shit like that.
I'm sure it is.
Penguin.
I'm sure it is
Club
the name of like
Disco. I can't even believe I said that.
Where do you go
Disco.
for the Hudson?
Time from the way to use my walk. I can't sing this song because it's copyrighted and it costs a lot to use this song. Huh?
Oh, jeez. Mike, I was going to ask in terms of a lot of some of the bigger events here in the U.S. Because I was speaking to a guy who's going to Laconia, I guess that's coming up in June.
Yeah, up in New Hampshire. Beautiful.
Right,
Beautiful.
right.
Lake Winnipesaukee?
Is it Lake Winnipesaukee? Yeah. Now, I know you guys have probably hit quite a few of the bigger events, whether it be Laconia, whether it be Daytona, whether it be Sturgis. Did you have like a favorite event, or were they all somewhat similar? Was one more crazy than the other? Any stories on that?
They're all the same. Bunch of burnout pits, women flashing boobs.
Yeah.
And so it really boils down to like the scenery or like what it has to offer around the event.
Right.
I liked Sturgis.
Sturgis was cool.
Yeah. I'm not out in the, that's way out there,
Yeah.
Midwest would it be considered? Or?
Yep. That's exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
and it's a beautiful area. And you could ride around on a scooter. There's a lot of outskirts where you could ride, and there's not a lot of a lot of people. Every other motorcycle event, you're sort of confined to
Right.
the masses. You know,
Right.
you can't get anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, were you guys pretty much? Did you always have to do the whole event thing, or could you just go there and enjoy it, or was it always more of a appearance kind of a thing?
Yeah, we were trying to sell as many T-shirts and things as possible.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
we do that all day, and then at the end of the day, eat dinner and go home.
Yeah.
So not much time to party, but I found time to drink heavy and party.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'd have to sneak out.
Well, where'd you stay? Did you stay right there? Or did you stay on the outskirts?
It all depends on the area.
All right.
Sometimes we get a house, hotel,
Right.
you know, campground.
Usually, I mean, like on a lot of those events, though, you see, mostly if there's guys, there's probably couples together. There's not like a lot of women that are coming independently to these events, is it or no?
No, not at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So the women are either working there or,
You'd come across the occasional, like a few girls who just wanted to go out and have some fun at a like a bike weekend or a bike week or something.
yeah.
And then you'd have a chance of, like, inviting them out to, drink some beer and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. But for the most part, it was all couples and families.
Yeah.
So,
I can see that.
you
I can
know.
see that. Was there any time? I mean, give us some stories. Any kind of, a lot of. Hopefully, there was some. The celebrity aspect gave you a little in on occasions.
I think it did, yeah, because at the height of the show, I was at my fattest. I was like 360 pounds.
You were never that big, were you?
Yeah. I couldn't tie my shoes. I couldn't reach my shoes to tie them.
Oof.
I also didn't
360?
know how to tie my shoes.
I still don't know how to
So I
tie
was
your
dumb and
shoes.
fat.
I didn't think you. No. I
Yeah,
can't
and
remember
still
you
getting
doing
ladies.
360.
Still getting ladies.
Yeah.
know. So
Well,
I
that
think
always
that has quite a bit of pull.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah.
And was it always just you, Pops, and a junior show up too, or no?
My father and brother always did separate areas in the event to canvass a certain amount of the crowd
Yeah.
in order to maximize sales.
Two more
And then
motorcyclers.
myself, Vinny, and Cody would go to another area.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'd be at separate areas.
put you at the
boom, churning out.
Vinny and Cody area.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know Vinny and Cody went. I thought
Cody
it was just
wasn't bad.
basically you
Vinny
three.
was really bad to be around. Really bad.
Yeah?
Really, really abusive.
It took
I'm
me a
hoping he
second. I'm
hears
like,
this.
no.
In what way?
No way.
You didn't
no.
like doing it or what?
No, he was a sweetheart.
Oh,
man.
okay, I was
Yeah,
gonna
he's like a
mention.
brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Cody was a sweetheart too. I was really
Yeah.
lucky to be with those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think I
Yeah.
could have stood being part of the A team on the other end of town with my dad and brother.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You had to. You sort of in your own element, right? You didn't have
Yeah.
to sit there and, I guess perform or whatever that.
Plus, I could misbehave a little more on the on the sly
Exactly.
here and
Exactly.
there without my
Keep it
dad
on
and
the
brother
swivel.
being right on me.
Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, would you still? I mean, in today's world, would you still want to go to those festivals, or you had enough?
Had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like motorcycles to begin with. I enjoy riding them a little here and there, but I'm not an enthusiast.
Yeah.
Not a motorhead.
Yeah.
I'm not friends with too many motorheads.
I got you.
A few of them, actually. I do have a few motorhead friends. But
Evan.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
Evan's really cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
Evan's the
this thing,
best.
yeah, really.
Evan Favaro
Yeah.
over at Speakeasy Motors.
Speakeasy Motors.
Yeah. That's a plug. That's our
He's
first
nice.
plug.
Yeah, we'll get him to
That's our first
sponsor us by.
shout out plug.
Shout out plug.
We'll get some patches and put them on the table.
He also has
Speakeasy
whiskey.
He does. He owns
Speakeater-
Speakeasy Whiskey.
Yeah.
Yep. Speakeasy Motors whiskey.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
I
Takes
gotta
it
get
straight out of the
right.
car.
He's gonna get pissed. I got it wrong. You got it wrong. I think I got it right.
Speakeasy Motors Whiskey.
Yeah.
It might be Speakeasy Motors Whiskey.
Yeah, I think he's got like a tasting room and everything over there.
He does. It's beautiful.
There's a black cloth and it just covers a doorway. And he says, "Okay, open up. Here's the taste."
Oh, jeez. That's the. You went to the wrong place.
I know.
He always does, right? I mean, he just goes right to
Taste test.
and a lot of it is like right in your face, and you're not
So
sure
is
if
the
it's
whiskey.
funny or not. You're you're trying to figure it out. Is that comical or is it basically boom right in the nuts?
Oh no, wait! It's Speakeasy Motors Whiskey Company tasting room at Liquid. It's a very big name.
Well, you got it. You got most of the names there.
I can't even get the rest of the name because it's blocked because there's too
Liquid
much of it. At Liquid Mercantile Distillery.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a lovely place. Really is.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it right where his shop is?
It's a
Or is it
winery,
different?
and the winery's attached to the whiskey place there. You know, they got a
That's
co-op
nice.
thing
He
going
owns
on.
that?
Yep.
I didn't know he owned it.
Yeah, the bar looks like something out of Manhattan.
Yeah, it is. It's,
Yeah,
it's really
it's
nice.
beautiful.
Jeez.
I got to get
Player
over there. I haven't
piano,
seen
all
that.
kinds of really nice
I
shit.
haven't
Is that
seen-
by his thing?
What?
Is that by his thing?
It's not close to his home, but it's somewhere out there. It's like under the ridge.
But his home is by his garage, right?
Yep,
Okay.
right in the backyard.
I've been at the garage.
Yeah, he's got a nice
I've
guy. I mean,
bicycled
he's-
by it many times.
Absolutely talented. I mean, without a doubt. He and then
We'll
he
have
has
him
that
on.
yearly thing. Yeah, that'd
We'll
be
have
great.
him on. He could talk about things.
I think that'd be
He's
awesome.
a great motorhead too, because he's really great with metal forming, and he knows his shit when it comes to like the nuts and bolts.
Without a doubt.
And then on top of it, he's like a fun guy to hang out with. It doesn't have to be about motors and everything like that.
Oh, he's a
you know
cool
what I mean?
dude. I can remember of
Used to go to
hanging out
open
with him a
mics
few
with him.
times. Yep. Or he'd come over into OCC, and he'd always be just easy to talk to, just a gentleman. You know what I mean? I think he actually built a bike, and I think he posted a couple shots of him on Facebook for Pink, that singer.
He did.
Yeah,
he built
yeah.
a motorcycle for Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
He's up and coming.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
He's coming and up. Are we good? Well, we'll move on. What?
You know what?
How do we get off on Ev? Just in case that bit has to be kind of condensed quick.
How did we get off on that?
We
we were
talked
talking
about
about- yeah.
whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
No, that's how it came. We talked about Speakeasy. We're talking about Tuttle, and we're talking about the events.
Oh, the
and Evan and
events.
Favaro.
What
There you
about? Okay, when I'm curious, I know, and I don't know if we ever talked about this. We talked about places that you've been and all that, which I think has been so fascinating. But one of there's been so many, let's say, celebrities that came by, right? In terms of OCC, how was it when like Shaq was there? Was that pretty cool? He seems like a big kid, you know.
Oh, Shaq's a beauty.
Yeah, he seems like a big kid. I remember watching as far as when you guys were playing basketball, blowing shit up and whatnot.
Yeah.
He just seems like a really cool dude.
He really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's something else.
Big.
What? Who were like?
He's huge. He could pick me up like nothing.
Huge.
And it's weird. I haven't been picked up like nothing like since I was a kid. You know, being a big fella.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's like
Yeah.
pick me up like nothing.
Pick up the dog.
He's got to be like 7'3" or some shit like that. I remember
I think even, yeah.
he used to have that
6'9".
shoe. There was a shoe in the back when they were building the bike, and it looked like a boat. It was probably size 24, and it was just sitting around there for
23 or
ages.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's insane.
yeah, isn't that
7'1".
7'1", right?
I was thinking of Shaw, not Shaq.
So who were there any?
Shaq, there's one thing I want to tell you.
Yeah,
Every time I see him, right, which isn't very often, but I've seen him about 3 or 4 times.
have you?
Yeah, he picks me up by the ass cheeks. And he makes me like, like ride him. I swear to God. And I'm not going to say no.
Okay, Mike, you're gonna.
He tells me he loves my ass. I don't know what to say. Like, sure, big guy. He's like, sorry, I'm riding, throwing me around like a rag doll, dude. I'm like a little kid.
Oh,
you know?
that's funny.
Sure, Shaq. Yeah.
Did he? Didn't you go down to his house one time? Weren't
Yeah.
you at his house? What happened at the house?
Right.
Just a cool guy. You guys just showed up at the house, or he invited you
Yeah,
over?
really
with him?
cool guy.
Yeah.
He's sweet. Yeah.
So he picks you up by the ass shakers and jiggles you around.
Yep.
You know what's
like,
impressive?
like 90s dance floor, you know? Like I could hear CNC Music Factory with this.
he just seems like a big kid.
He
you
is.
know?
He
Yeah.
is. He has a lot of fun. You know what's funny about him too, though, is like when he's serious,
Yeah.
he tells everybody like "fuck off."
Really?
And he's so big, they just
Yeah, who's gonna say
Yeah.
no?
nobody's going to tell that guy what to do.
I mean, everybody's looking straight up. I mean, I'm 6'3", and he's 7'1", and I think he's probably like 360 pounds or whatever the hell it is.
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
And if he wanted to be mean, think about him. If he wanted to go through life all mean, he'd be just fucking throwing people into garbage cans and shit.
Yeah, he could be a complete asshole if
Wow.
he wanted to,
Sweetheart.
and everybody would just step aside and let him be a complete asshole because he's that big.
Yep.
But he's just he just seems like another cool guy.
He
you know?
also had in his garage a life-size Predator figure
Oh yeah.
from the movie Predator. Yep.
Wow. Well, I
pretty
mean,
cool.
he's not a poor man, from what I understand.
No.
From what I understand, he's a very good businessman. I mean, he's got a lot. I think he owns a ton of those.
Super good. And he figures out he's like he keeps himself really relevant. So he continues to make money.
If you look at him, he's all over.
Sportscaster, Icy Hot, all kinds of the general.
Icy Hot,
making fun of Charles
General.
Barkley.
Yeah. I love Barkley.
I think he owns all kinds of Papa John's franchise. Very good businessman. So I think that's respectful. Like if you could name four or five guys that you met or built bikes for that were just that you were sort of like, wow, in awe of, who would those guys be?
Bill Murray.
No, they were all horrible people.
Bill Murray?
I could tell you who the 5 worst were.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
No.
That's career suicide, even if your career's
No,
dead.
it was really cool building a bike for Bill Murray, sure.
No, I
funny
bet.
guy.
He came by. I know that he's kind of somewhere semi-canceled right now, but
Is he?
I don't
Again,
know.
why?
Some
Why
kind
are
of thing. I don't know.
I didn't
Bill
hear anything
Murray.
about Bill Murray.
Something about a harassment thing, but I don't give a fuck.
No, but we're like 4
That
or
was
5
awesome.
guys.
Yeah, we could design the bike with Bill Murray. Then he came back, for the unveiling.
That's awesome.
So he's got to spend some time with the guy. That was,
Now, do you talk about like Caddyshack or any of that stuff, or is that sort of?
I asked him about
off-topic?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he told me a bit about Rodney Dangerfield.
Okay.
Some stuff I can't talk about.
Hmm.
But that's the kind of stuff you want to hear.
No,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was pretty open. He's a regular guy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of people like to know that he's a regular guy.
And I was hanging out with him right when my first fiance left me. So it was like, the person that you want to hang out with the most. And it's kind of like you get that feeling. And then also the person that you
Did you
love
tell
the
him
most
about
just
it, though?
took a
Did you
shit.
listen? Did you say, like, can you give me a couple words of advice? My fiance left, or did he know any of that
I
conversation
was trying to
come out?
compartmentalize the two.
Oh, okay.
Because I really wanted to enjoy it for what it was worth, you know. And then after you hang out with Bill, go back to like the hotel room and start fucking crying. So it was, quite an experience. It was a bipolar experience.
Yeah.
That was cool, hanging out with Bill.
All right.
We
so
had
you
Will
got
Smith
Shaq,
come
you
over.
got Bill.
We had Will Smith come to the shop before he slapped anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was really nice, though.
Was he?
really, really nice. Yeah,
I think
he's gracious to
I
everybody.
think Will Smith, if you look at his entire career, everybody's always said there was no bad word about that guy until
his old lady snapped him a look. Like anybody, that happens. They
yeah.
snap you the look, and you got to fucking.
But can you imagine
gotta
that?
do
I mean,
something.
what was going through his head that he would literally stand up on live TV, walk over, and smack the shit out of that guy, Chris?
Yeah, my wife is going to be. What if I don't smack this guy? My wife is going to make it worse for me than if I slap him.
I think it absolutely set him back tremendously. That whole situation.
Well,
that
to do
whole
something like
snap.
that and then you win an Oscar, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
He had like a bipolar kind of experience going there. Because
that
you
was a
do
good-
something embarrassing like that, and then you go and receive an award.
That was a good
Half
movie.
the
You know
people
what?
in the
I think
audience
all
are
the
like, yeah, fuck you.
yeah, I think they were all a little
I
bit
didn't
shocked
mind
about
it
that.
anyways.
But again, I think other than that moment, which set him back a lot, everybody always thought he was like, he was the darling of Hollywood or whatnot. He never did anything wrong, and that night he just fucked that up big time. So Will Smith.
I had to name throw Russell Crowe, but I think I talked about him.
We
when
talked about Russell
Australia.
Crowe. Yep. Who was okay? You don't have
Russell did leave me a message one time on my phone.
Come
Was he
on.
drunk?
Yeah. He's like, hey, Mikey, it's Russell Crowe.
Hey, Monkey.
No.
Yeah, I'm calling from Australia.
It's Russell
He did
Crowe.
not
Yeah.
Calling
If
from
you can,
Australia.
give me a bell, mate.
Maybe
Said
I
that.
might.
give you a what?
Give me a bell. They say give me a bell.
a ring.
Give you a bell.
Give me a ring.
Yeah, I never called him back.
Why didn't you?
I didn't
You're an
have international service.
So what?
Yeah.
You should have
You
gave
were
him
in
a
the
call
height of your
back.
prime.
But
in
I
your
was
life.
able to play the voice message for my nephew.
Now, do you save the message or you delete the message?
What's that?
You save or delete the message?
I saved it for as long as I could.
No, that's cool.
Change
Yeah.
service.
You didn't
Okay.
record it on
You
the
know what?
video
I didn't
camera?
ask you
should've.
when you were staying with Russell Crowe, and you had mentioned, that you were in his guest house or whatnot. And
Yeah,
you
we
guys
were
had
watching
had
Gladiator.
dinner and watching Gladiator. The tenor, that is funny. The tenor of the conversation at dinner.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you guys? What is he what's the conversation about?
Oh, for me, it wasn't much. My father, my brother, Russell Crowe, and all, the people who were from the film crew and stuff, they were on one end of the table. And I was at the other end with Russell's parents.
No,
It
okay.
was just light conversation.
All
So
right.
how are you?
I was just
You know,
curious. All right. So we
you do
got
for a
Will
living?
Smith. We got any
Well, I was a
anybody that
barman.
was just. Yeah, you don't have to throw anybody into the bus, but sort of, was just they're a little bit difficult, to deal with.
No.
All right, that's
Yeah, no,
that's
I've
good.
had great experiences with people.
All right, I think
Yeah,
that's
never
awesome.
anybody who's a dick.
That's
Because I don't mind telling that. It's not really slander. It's like they were a dick. But
no, because you always hear those stories about like people who meet famous people and they're they're celebrities themselves, and they always want to meet somebody, and then sometimes it goes south because they end up meeting that person, what they
Yeah.
built up in their mind about this person,
yeah, then the person's a dick.
and the person's a dick. So
yeah, I've had
Yeah.
good luck in that regard.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
that's awesome.
let's see, anybody? I can't think of anybody who's like an out and out dick. You
Well,
know?
Steven Tyler, you said, was really cool. Right?
Me.
We were waiting backstage. We snuck like to the preferred area for my friends and I went to go see Weezer.
Okay.
And the lead singer was hanging out backstage, kind of like there's a VIP lounge, but
Right.
we managed to get in. There were like 8 people in there. And he spent the whole time, it was like an hour and a half he was supposed to be there
Yeah.
talking to one person.
Uh-huh.
He wouldn't sign our tickets.
Eh.
But, he could have had an off day.
Yeah,
You never
everybody
fucking
does.
know,
I
man.
guess.
Talking Rivers Cuomo,
You never
Yeah.
know.
pipist,
You never know.
What is he? Flautist?
Is he a flautist?
I don't know.
Oh.
He's
I wish I could hear him.
Hey, whatever happened to your artwork in terms of art gallery? Were you able? Did you hang on to that for as long as you could, and then,
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I went broke at the same time. I was kind of trying to run that. So
Gotcha.
everything just, boom, fell apart.
Gotcha.
Speaking of art and galleries and singers, what was fun, was really nice, was Julian Lennon. It was John's son.
Yeah.
Hey, he was a nice guy. Did you meet him?
No.
You didn't meet him?
Nope.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. You weren't part of the big... I was only in the background.
I wasn't part of the fun.
I'm in the background when Bernie Williams. That's the only time I'm on the show. As he enters.
You
But,
know what I read? Go ahead.
Julian was a nice guy, and he had a nice personality. He was really good. He's probably one of the nicest ones that I got to meet. Everybody that appeared was nice, and I think that's also to do with professionalism, right?
Sure, and he was raised in the atmosphere.
Even the real a-holes tend to know to be professional when the cameras are rolling, know? That's why you hear about the behind-the-scenes stuff that happens, but...
Yeah, where they're chucking shit in
where
the
did you
dressing
meet
room.
him?
Julian came into Paul's and he unveiled he opened the box that his father's monkey bike was in, that John Lennon's
wow.
Honda monkey bike, the real one. Because he'd
wow.
purchased the false one, or he'd purchased one that was faked back in 2009 or something. And the real one came back up in 2018. So Paul bought it via Sotheby's and had it shipped overseas. And
He bought the real one?
Paul got the real Honda monkey bike, Julian Lennon's Honda monkey bike. He still has it, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I thought? Because I read about that whole thing in terms of like when John Lennon passed away, Julian, he didn't get shit. Everything went to
He got-
Yoko
he got
and
some.
John.
His
He
name
got
is
some.
Julian Lennon, though. And he already had money.
I know, but from what I read, the bulk of his estate went over. I mean, that has to be sort
He
of a
got
kick in
some.
the butt.
I saw him on Letterman. He said he got some, but he didn't. He got what Yoko allowed him to have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
right.
I don't think he got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, she
Yeah.
retained rights to music. All
She
that
retained
shit.
everything, right? So she.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
It's your stepmom. You're
Under
supposed
the
to.
intestacy
supposed
law,
to be evil.
he should have gotten about 200 million, but he got 25 million.
Oh, is that it?
Darn.
Poor dude.
I know.
Right?
That's what I say.
Yeah, he's
See,
okay.
you're gonna talk.
He's okay.
You're gonna talk like this, but then honestly, 25 million, I
Yeah.
could make a living off 25 million.
Oh yeah.
I could give people jobs for 25 million.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
could give me a job.
I'd give you a job
Thanks.
if I won the lottery. I'd give you all jobs.
well,
25 million. Well, it's
We'll
all
see.
relative. You do
I
see
wouldn't
people
play
out
though.
there with
I
20.
wouldn't play, so I'll never win.
You see people
You
out
don't?
there bitching with
me
money.
neither.
What's that?
Lotto.
Lotto. I don't play.
You hear those bad lotto stories, though. You hear about people who win the
Everybody's
lotto.
life gets ruined.
The
yeah.
and
majority-
then they get ruined. Yeah.
The majority of people who play the lotto and win big end up spending it all way too quickly, or spending it all and then
Overspending and then
getting way too much in
taxes.
debt.
Yeah.
They need money managers and they don't get them. The one guy created a mud wrestling show, a nude mud wrestling TV show.
Hey, everybody
Really?
needs a nude wrestling.
Yeah.
TV show.
A female
Yeah, no
nude
shit.
mud
What's stupid
wrestling
about that?
TV show, and that was what
What's
he spent.
stupid about that? I think we should bring that back. Actually,
Jeez. Yeah, get that guy in the horn. We got to have him on the show.
Remember that movie
I won the
Porky's?
lotto and I spent $150 million.
That
Yeah,
was
he's
in
done interviews and
That
stuff.
remember a nude wrestling? Was that in Porky's or was that in actually with Bill Murray in Stripes? Yeah.
And Porky's. I
That
think,
was a
right?
great scene though. In
Oh yeah,
Stripes.
with John Candy.
yeah, with John Candy.
Yeah, all the ladies beat him up.
You don't see those anymore, right?
What?
Nude. I think you know what I think in
Probably a
today's world
sanitary
you couldn't
thing.
do it.
Right?
In today's world, it would be
Viruses and
I don't know from the woke
bacterias.
culture and
Oh.
everybody. You know,
Oh yeah.
you got to be careful about what you say, what you do, who you're offending.
Yeah. It's
Everything
chauvinist.
of
It's
that
a
nature.
chauvinist kind of thing, I guess.
It really is.
But what about strippers? Do strippers exist anymore? Or they're kind of like that's considered
No, they're still around, I'm sure.
okay. How's that not like a chauvinist thing for a guy to
The
go
industry's
out and
the
pay a
industry.
woman
They're
to,
empowering themselves by being on stage and getting money from people who are going to pay extra dollars.
What
to see
about the
them naked.
guys that are like popping chubbies and like
Those
"Yeah,
guys,
baby,
that's part of their job.
you know
That's part of their
Yeah,
job,
yeah.
and they're not allowed to touch because then it becomes what do you call it? That's why
What?
you have the back. Well, they're not allowed to touch. Being New York State laws, you can't have sex or sexual intimacy for money. Right? That's a law. That's prostitution laws.
Yeah, but the
I
people don't
know
adhere
if
to that.
that's-
no,
I mean,
obviously
yeah,
they
of
don't
course they
adhere to that.
adhere
That's the whole point of like backroom deals at strip clubs.
I
I've
can
never been to
remember-
a strip club. I couldn't tell you.
I can remember working on. First of all, that's a good, interesting point because nowadays with all the woke stuff going on and everybody has to watch what they do and say, and that is true.
Watch what you say.
How are strippers able to do what they do now? You would think there'd be a lot of protests going on because aren't you objectifying these women in a certain way, or I guess they're allowing it to happen just to make money, because you would think that there would be like a lot of feminists out there with signs going, take the no more strippers, no more strippers. You don't see that.
Well,
So I'm curious how that works.
I'll be honest with you. I felt harassed at a strip club before.
You-
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not that I'm attractive, obviously, but like every now and again, I'll have a married friend call me up, like you're having a breakdown or whatever, and they want to go to the strip club.
Uh-huh.
So they want to, get as close to cheating as you can without, right?
Sure.
Okay, and there's no cheating involved.
Little,
So I'll go with
little
them, but I'm
tits
not-
in the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not a strip club guy, but I'll go with him. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Especially since I could be the DD now. So if you go in there, it used to be you could sit in the corner and just kind of like,
Sort of
listen and
relax.
play. You shook me all
Watch.
night long and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And the women will just keep coming over and harassing you.
That is true.
And then there's a minimum that you have to pay them.
That is
So
true.
you have to actually, just to be in the building,
Yeah.
you have to buy a non-alcoholic beverage for like
Yep.
$8. And
$8?
Then, and then you have to spend at least like $20 on the girls as they come over and basically harass you unless you're hiding under the pool table, which I
Absolutely.
resorted to.
Well, one of the things from what my experience has been is that as soon as you go in there, they want you to buy them a drink. And then if you buy them a drink, the drink is like $25, $30, not $8. I guess this is in the Manhattan area, but you're right. They're all they absolutely are on top of you to try to get that dollar.
Yep.
But it's just interesting to me with what's going on in
But I felt
today's
harassed.
You did.
I was going to launch a suit. Yeah, this lady kept coming up to me and she was rubbing her tuchus against my outer leg.
Uh-huh.
I said, I don't have any money.
Okay.
She didn't believe me.
You know what? I think everybody says that, and that's why they don't
Oh,
believe
we got
you.
an ATM over there.
Yeah.
You know,
I quite frankly agree with you. I'm not a big.
I've been harassed.
You know, here's my thoughts on that. The strip clubs, you know exactly what they're looking for. They just want your money. It's not like you're going to have a conversation.
Oh, that's
with
another
these
funny
women,
thing. You ever
right?
go with a friend and he's convinced that like if he gives the girl,
gonna love him?
Oh, yeah, they're
double
gonna-
the money
yep,
everybody
yep,
else
yep,
that they
yep,
love
yep,
him. You
uh-huh.
know, yeah, that's kind of sad
If you give
because you really put
if you give them
false
20
impression.
times the amount of money everybody else gives them, then they will love you and they will stay with you all night, and they'll come to you the next time you come through those doors. I'm sure
But that's not love.
that's not
It's
love.
not love.
You know, if you're
We're
a smart
looking
man
for love.
and you're
Yeah,
just
I'm looking
looking
for
for a moderate woman to rub up on you and to act like they're there for you, and you have the money. If you're not stupid enough to fool yourself into thinking they care beyond the money, then I think it's perfect for any person to do.
Yeah, but that sounds cold. We're
yeah.
talking about love.
We're talking about love.
Yeah, that's real. You're gonna find that at a strip club.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't see going into a
Maybe.
strip. Do you see that happening? Going into a stripper bar and falling in love,
And
falling in
rescuing
love
one of
with
those
Not
someone?
unless it's another patron.
And rescuing one of those misled girls.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
but you know what's
Take her right out
really
of there.
interesting?
You know, tramp stamp. You
Yeah.
know, ankle
Yeah.
tattoo, one on
Yeah.
the back of the shoulder, piercings.
But it's really
Definite
interesting.
signs of drug addiction.
Yeah, it's interesting. The
Rehabilitate
girls,
and marry.
the girls who like to go to strip clubs.
Yeah.
There's a certain portion of women who like that, and they'll go in.
I don't think they're there
with
for
their
you.
guys
Oh, okay.
to strip clubs because they enjoy it.
They do.
Yeah.
I haven't
Oh,
met.
that's interesting.
I have
seen a
not
girl.
met. I have
Haven't
not
met a
met
girl.
one of those either, but
No.
I've heard of them. Yeah,
If anything, it's the opposite. You know,
yeah.
you
Usually,
better not be going to the
you
strip
better
club.
not be going to strip clubs. But there are some women who enjoy going because they enjoy, I guess, the female body or whatever, and they're going into strip clubs and sometimes with guys and they're having a great time. I know of a couple.
It's interesting. Because
I know
the
of a
female
couple-
body, I think you can appreciate way more than a dong. You know,
I
like
would hope
everything's
so.
everything nice and it's a good.
It's
You know what I mean?
the female body is just so much more.
It's just so much more.
Sumptuous. Is that a good word? Sumptuous. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Voluptuous.
Voluptuous. That's a good word.
Voluptuous.
But I can tell you a story. I have a friend of mine who has quite a bit of money.
Uh-huh.
Him and his wife, they're in Miami together as a couple. They went into and they got pretty hammered, and they were in a strip club pretty much all night. He was they were getting hammered to the point where he's just signing credit card numbers and whatnot. He walked out of there $16,000 later. 16 grand in a strip club. And I've heard stories about that in Manhattan. What happens is they'll sort of prey on you, especially if you're fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you're signing these credit card receipts. Like there was this place called Scores in Manhattan. It's a big strip club. And these businessmen would sign credit card receipts, bottles of champagne, all this shit because they're all fucked up. And they'll go out of there. They'll get their credit card statement. It's $40,000, $50,000, and they don't have any recourse because they sign those statements.
Oh, really?
That's just crazy.
Holy shit!
So you gotta
So
be
they're
really,
taking
really
they're
careful.
taking advantage of drunks like
absolutely.
anyone. Yeah, just on a high end.
Absolutely,
level.
absolutely. So
I guess it's quite a lesson to learn. Jeez,
yeah, you're not finding love in a strip club.
I doubt it.
I don't even think
It's-
you'll find anything in a strip club.
I think we got enough today, guys. I mean, I think we've
so.
talked about a lot of stuff, right?
Yes. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Mikey and Al podcast. Mikey and Al
Between the lines.
Between the lines.
There
You
go.
can always see us on mikeyandal.com. Please tune in to us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok,
Instagram.
Instagram. Be on all
And anywhere you can
platforms.
get a podcast.
And we just appreciate the support
You can
and any insight from anybody out there, comments, and any kind of topics you guys like us to discuss.
and you can catch me on the corner of 14th and 7 every Tuesday night.
There you go.
From 12 a.m. to 5 a.m.
12:15.
I'm very quick. Thank you very much.
11:45 p.m.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.